Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another one of those wonderful, brilliant classics boxes that has all kinds of stuff that conveniently gets assembled, and you might not have it otherwise. And whether the performances are the best or not, they give you a good sense of what the music is so that you can then pursue it on your own and get either more modern, maybe better, but still, sometimes they're wonderful. And I just think this is a particularly entertaining one. 15 CDs, are you ready? Of Russian piano concertos. 15, who knew there were 15 CDs of Russian piano concertos? But there are. And actually, there are more than 15 CDs of Russian piano concertos. But let's open this up and see what's inside, shall we? It's like, I love opening these boxes and playing with them. I mean, it's like a treasure chest. You know, you never know what you're going to get. And it's so much fun. So here we have disc number 1. We have Lyapunov. Not exactly a household word, is he? We have his 2 piano concertos and his Rhapsody on Ukrainian themes, which are lovely works. And in this case, the performances are, I think they're licensed from, let me see, they're Naxos Productions. That's what I thought. With, let's see, it's Shorena. Oh my God, go ahead, do it to me on the first go. Why don't you? It's Shorena Tsintsabadze and the Russian Philharmonic with Dimitrio Blonsky. These are fun pieces. They're kind of trashy. Lyapunov, his famous piece is called Hashish. You know, it's voluptuous, sort of post-Borodin, Stranger in Paradise, Russian exoticism type music. And I love it. I really do. I mean, formally, who cares? And, they're brief works. 22 minutes and 19 minutes, and then the Rhapsody on Ukrainian themes is 16 minutes. It's not challenging music, it's just fun music. Very well written for the piano. He did a set of transcendental etudes after Liszt. He was a piano composer guy, and it's just delicious. So we have that. Let me organize myself here so I don't drop anything. I don't want to have a disaster. So there you go. Lyapunov is at the beginning. And then we have Anton Rubinstein. Now Rubinstein, this is his 4th piano concerto. It's his most famous one. And his Concertstück for piano and orchestra. These are with Michael Ponti, which is interesting, with the Philharmonia Ungarica under Ottmar Maga. Remember him? I remember him. I mean, maybe some of you do too. And the other work is the Felicia Blumenthal with the Vienna Symphony Orchestra under Helmut Froschauer. And these are licensed from, like, who the hell knows who? Vox, basically. Yeah, these were Vox recordings. I remember these too. Rubinstein's 4th piano concerto is his most popular, to the extent any of his piano concerti are still popular. It's a good work. It's fun. It's interesting. It's again, it's the work of a virtuoso pianist. Rubinstein is so out of fashion now, but he wrote tons and tons of music. And someday somebody is going to have to devote some real time and attention to giving him some first-rate performances. I don't mean just as piano concertos, which have been well done, or at least this one has, but including this performance, which is quite good. But they'll do the symphonies and some of the other things, and we'll have a better sense of him as a composer. I don't think he was, from what I've heard, and I've heard a lot, I don't think he was like, a hidden genius or anything, but there's some really good music there. Anyway, these are enjoyable works, and that's nice to have, of course, and they're very Russian. So there you go. Then we've got, more Lyapunov, Balakirev, and Metner. So we have the Metner Piano Concerto Number 1, the Balakirev Piano Concerto Number 2, which is quite brief, actually, isn't it? No, it's not. What am I talking about? It's 31 minutes here. That's good. And I thought it was 13 because I forgot to read the second track. Here we go. And I knew I was wrong because I like it and I listened to it. It's like, it's not 13 minutes. What am I talking about? And you also get, what else? Lyapunov, the Rhapsody on Ukrainian themes. Okay, so you get 2 of them. This is, again, Michael Ponti with the Orchestra of Radio Luxembourg and the Westphalian Symphony Orchestra under Siegfried Landau. Oh, remember that? Those were these Vox recordings. I mean, they're sonically not great, and they were the kinds of recordings that you spent very little money on to get to know the works. And There's nothing at all wrong with that. And so if the price is right, you will still be spending very little money to get to know the works. And that's the point. There are much better performances now of the Mettner piano concertos, of course. They've gotten some very serious attention from the likes of Hyperion and Biss and other labels like that. And they're beautiful, beautiful pieces. They're like Rachmaninoff without the tunes, essentially. Okay, here we go. Who's this? Kabalevsky and Glazanov. Kabalevsky, Piano Concertos 1 and 2. Kabalevsky's piano concertos are probably his best large-scale works, actually. He was, people don't realize, Kabalevsky wrote the Comedians, the Comedians Gallop and all that. He was really a choral music composer, but he was a dyed-in-the-wool socialist realist as well. And so you have to be a little picky. His music is colorful and enjoyable. It's all pretty yummy, actually. But these two piano concertos are big, serious works, and they're lovely to have. And we also get the Glazanov Piano Concerto Number Two. Now, Glazanov's two piano concertos, I think, are just unexplored masterpieces. They're wonderful pieces, and they deserve. I've talked about them before. They really deserve attention. They're marvelous. So we have, let's see, the Injo Bang for the Kabalevskys, and Oksana Yablonskaya. We know who she is, and this is another Yablonsky thing, which means it comes from Naxos, and it's wonderful to have these pieces. It really is. I think they're really, really enjoyable. And let's see what we have next. More Kabalevsky, Piano Concerto Number 3. That's his Youth. This is a real socialist, realist piece of, sort of a little pot boilerette. It's not big and brash and bombastic enough to be a pot boiler. It's a pot cup, or something like that. Anyway, and then the Rimsky-Korsakov Piano Concerto in C-sharp minor. This is the one that's only 13 minutes long. How many people knew that Rimsky-Korsakov even wrote a piano concerto? Does it really sound like Rimsky-Korsakov? Well, not really, but it's interesting to know that it's there, and you give it a shot. And the Glazanov Piano Concerto Number 1, which is quite different from Number 2. They're very interesting formally, these two works. They really are. The first, for example, is an opening movement and then a big theme and variations. And the second is sort of like a one-movement, fantasia thing, with different sections. They're really fun. Beautifully scored. I really like these Glazanov works. The Kabalevsky I can take or leave. The Rimsky is fun for Rimsky fans. So there you go. Let's see, what's this one? The Cacciatore and Piano Concerto and the Concert Rhapsody in D flat. Okay, so this is again with Oksana. Is it Oksana? Yeah, Oksana Yablonskaya, who seems to be related to Dmitri Yablonsky. Get it? Yablonskaya and Yablonsky, with the Moscow Philharmonic from the Naxos recordings, which are perfectly decent. And they're modern and they sound good, and that's just fine. Let's see, what do we got in this one? Oh, Moskovski and Charvenka. Oh, these are wonderful. This is more Michael Ponti stuff from Vox. Remember those Vox boxes? Yeah, this stuff was in those Vox boxes. And so we have the Moskovski Piano Concerto Number 1 and the Charvenka Piano Concerto. I like these pieces. These are fun pieces. Romantic, virtuoso piano things by composers who really knew what they were doing. The Moskovski is in 4 movements. It has a scherzo. It's quite symphonic in construction. And again, it's with Philharmonia Ungarica under Hans Richard Straka, and the Hamburg Symphony under Richard Kapp for the Charvenka. Fun stuff. Really fun. Okay. Orensky and, Paderewski. Well, he's not really Russian, is he? Actually, neither were Moskovski and Charvenka. I guess this is Russian in the largest sense, maybe? Like, behind the Iron Curtain, back in the days when the Cold War was going on, everything on that side of it was kind of Russian. Even East Germany was kind of Russian, I guess. I don't know. What the heck? So we've got Orensky's Piano Concerto, which is an early work, but none the worse for that. And Paderewski Piano Concerto in A minor, which is really lovely and wonderful. This is Maria Litauer with the Berlin Symphony under Jörg Ferber and Felicia Blumenthal again. Boy, Vox was, they mined Vox for this stuff, which is actually fun because, the Vox catalog, which is owned by Naxos, is supposed to be making a comeback at some point, but we have no idea in what form or how they're going to do it, and where the stuff is. So, well, here's where some of it landed. So great, at least we have another source for it. What do we have on this one? Scriabin and Khrennikov. So Scriabin, Khrennikov, oh my goodness. Khrennikov this is his Piano Concerto Number Two, which is only about 15 or 16 minutes. It's another socialist, realist, extravaganzina, whatever your diminutive is. Khrennikov was the composer who was head of the Composers Union, who was busy persecuting other composers who were better than he was, like Shostakovich and Prokofiev and whatnot. And every so often, one of his pieces pops up, and even though it's not very challenging, it's well made. It's nice to hear stuff. I mean, if he hadn't been such a vile and loathsome human being, people might play it more often. But, he's dead and nobody really cares now, so maybe we'll listen to it some more. I don't know, but it's here. And this is, again, Michael Ponti, and Yevgeny Kissin is doing the Khrennikov. Wow, the Scriabin is Michael Ponti. Well, there's a million wonderful performances of the Scriabin, and this is certainly not one of the better ones, but they're all decent. And Kissin with the Tchaikovsky Symphony Orchestra of Moscow Radio under Vladimir Fedosiev. Where does that come from? Goodness, this is one of them is Vox, and one of them has to be something else. But are they going to tell us what the something else is? It's live. They tell us it's live, and that's about as much as we know about it. How interesting. Okay. They got their hands on it somehow. What do we got here? Tchaikovsky. Piano Concertos 1 and 2. With, I think, some cuts here in number 2. But, because the slow movement is a little slower than it normally is, or shorter. It's with Derek Hahn and the St. Petersburg Philharmonic under Paul Freeman. And this is a Brilliant Classics original, it seems to be. And the Piano Concerto Number 1. Everyone's got their own versions of these. I don't need to say anything about them, frankly. You're not going to buy the box based on the Tchaikovsky performances. Let's just put it that way. And then we have Rachmaninoff. Numbers 2 and 3 with Clara Wurtz. Now, Clara Wurtz is a fine, fine pianist. This is with National Symphony Orchestra of Ukraine under Vladimir Sirenko and Bernd Glemser, which is the National Symphony Orchestra of Ireland. These are Naxos recordings with Jerzy Maksymyuk. And, I don't think anybody's going to, again, buy this box for the Rachmaninoffs, but these are worthy performances. They're not the most peppy in the world or the most powerful, but they don't disgrace themselves. And in the context of all the other stuff, they're okay. You can listen to them and they'll get the job done, and then go get, we've done many videos on Rachmaninoff and his piano concerti, and what the best ones are, or you can watch and find out and take it from there. Prokofiev, numbers 3, 4, and 1. Oh, this is Kanwu Peik with Antony Witt. This is a perfectly fine cycle of Prokofiev piano concertos. And with the Polish National Radio Symphony, this is licensed from Naxos as well. And they're very good. I mean, they're just very, very good. They're fully competitive. And here we have Shostakovich 1 and 2 with Boris Giltberg and Petrenko and the Royal Liverpool. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, these are also licensed from Naxos. These are first rate, absolutely first rate. So that's nice to have. And we have, let's see, what is this? Oh, Boris Tchaikovsky and Alexander Mosolov. This is valuable. Interesting repertoire. Yeah, I like Boris Tchaikovsky. He's a good composer. He really is. And Mosolov was the futurist who later became sort of he towed the socialist realist line. But this is early. It's his Opus 14. And so it's with, let's see, Olga Solovyeva, piano, for the Tchaikovsky. It also has a double bass solo in it with the Russian Academy of Music Chamber Orchestra under Timur Minbiev, yeah. And Stefan Schliermacher is playing the Mosolov. Oh, yeah, with the Berlin Radio Symphony under Johannes Kalitsky. And those are licensed from Naxos again. And one of them is, no, they were made in Mosfilm Studios. Okay, fine. Yeah, Naxos stuff. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. if you can't find them on Naxos. And then we've got, what's this one? Keyowitz, Piano Concertos 2 and 3, with Stefan Daniga and the Janicek Philharmonic under David Porcelian, who's, Porcelian, or however you pronounce it. He's very, very good. We know that. And these are licensed from, Nederlands Music Institute, for some reason. And so there you go. I mean, that's interesting repertoire too. So there's some really cool stuff in here, some interesting reissues, some sentimental, I wouldn't call them favorites, some sentimental sort of go-to recordings back in the early days of Vox. And, old recordings never go away. They just get licensed and reissued under another label. This is fun. This is really, really fun. I think you're going to enjoy it. So there you go. Brilliant classics, Russian piano concertos. If the price is right and you don't know the repertoire, it's a great way to get to know the stuff. I mean, you may make some wonderful friends, and you'll have a sense of maybe some composers you haven't heard before and want to explore. And, no harm, no foul. It's good stuff. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.